different ways, and B, like, you don't have to be autistic to have a hyperfixation, but a lot of people who are autistic do have specific special interests, and that's awesome. And I think we're living in a time where there's no like right way to be grown up anymore. Like a lot of the adults grew up with video games. Like we don't want to stop doing all these fun things. If we have adult money and we want to use it on something, it's not like, oh, new toaster. It's like, no, I want to buy this cool framed thing that I like from a show I like. Like this just shows that this person is not right for that girl. It's just it's the wrong match. He probably thinks she's cute and quirky and makes it like a I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I mean, in my opinion, you know, he needs to check in with how he's talking about his girlfriend here. I mean, it's super derogatory. And I mean, in his mind, this is all abnormal when it's like, there's no normal way to decorate your home. You're allowed to do it however you want. But this is part of who she is. When you're dating someone and you're with someone and how they decorate their home, that to me is like, that's huge. And that's not something I would ever try to change. Or if I am not okay with it, and I'm not okay with bringing friends over, I'd be like, then I can't do this.
This is so interesting,
that's
though.
Huge.
I don't know, because I think sometimes it's the other way for, I don't know, like, not to gender it, but I do think a lot of girls will be like, oh, there's posters in this room. He's a kid. And, like, but there's a difference between, like, posters and, like, framed posters.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe like an age college to adulthood thing, but I think what he's upset about is the context of the art. It's not how the art is hung.
Right. That's what I mean. Her
like,
actual interest.
It's
the organization, the cleanliness, the presentation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the adult thing, right? Of like how you organize your space, and like how you do that. But your interests and the aesthetic.
Yeah, he's just roasting what she likes.
Yeah, and also it's not things that I think are. But I also, you know, being in the YouTube world, I feel like more people I know have places like this than not.
Look at our little plane.
We're so quirky.
I mean, it's the plane for too much for kids.
But no, sincerely, more people I know are collectors of various sorts. I mean, most of my adult friends have like Lego sets and stuff in their homes on display, and I mean that's more normal than not amongst people I know. And these are very adult people who work very hard, who like are every adult category they're marking off, but you're allowed to have interests, and that's part of being adult is you're allowed to have whatever you want now if you earn it. Like
maybe I'm unlikable, but what about your construction, dude? I think he's lying.
Oh, you're into Bob the Builder? You fucking loser!
Bob the Builder. I don't know. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. This is also like an example of, I don't know, like a lot of my space is decorated in like a spooky way. I collect like older antique things. Sometimes I restore old furniture that I find. But like other people, if they super want like a modern vibe, that's okay too. But it sounds like this person is obsessed with like, for lack of a better term, like the normie paradigm of things to do. Like, nope, everything's got to be perfect and modern. Looks like it comes from IKEA, and if it's not, then it's the baby.
No. You know, there's a difference between like childish and childlike, right? Like when someone like can do, I think you could put something up that may be childlike or like just like Legos. But then if she was acting childish and that was embarrassing to him, maybe I could get behind that. Like if the apartment was taken care of like a child and there wasn't like, and she wasn't cleaning or something.
Well, it's not even childish. It's Futurama. Like that's one of the best shows ever made.
And it's pretty adult.
It's definitely pretty adult. But my way of decorating my own space, I'm very minimalist and stuff, but like I love seeing really cool, unique ways that people decorate their homes.
Yeah.
Also, last thing I want to add.
Shirt. I'm just saying, I'm 32.
I mean, it's fucking sick.
Thanks. That's what I was looking for.
But I want to also point out, he talks about like this is where we gather to have a couple drinks, and this place is way too crazy for us. I'm like, have you not been to a bar?
I know.
Bars have crazy themes.
Yeah.
You freaking idiot.
Snowshoes on the wall.
This doesn't make sense to me. I've been to so many weird bars with literally like
so true.
Crazy aesthetics and stuff. That's the point. People pay so much money to get reservations at like weird places like that.
Yes, bro probably walks into TGI Fridays thinking it's a daycare.
Okay, some comments here. I hate people who gatekeep adulthood. They're stuffy and boring and have no sense of whimsy. Why do people have to give up the stuff they enjoy just because they reach an arbitrary age that makes them an adult? That's bullshit. Love what you love and celebrate it until the day you die. And the triangle dude is almost certainly Bill Cipher.
Yep. From Gravity Falls. Thank you.
Someone else said, you're the asshole, your girlfriend sounds rad. If I walked into a coworker's house like that, my respect level for them would go way up. Just let people be interested in things. Lastly, not the asshole for not wanting to host there because it's not your place, but you're the asshole for making your girlfriend feel bad for being who she is in her own place.
Yeah, it would be fair if the boyfriend was like, hey, I'm going to skip my rotation because I'm very excited to show off my place to my colleagues. That's what I'm looking for. But it is coming from a place of embarrassment about his girlfriend.
Yeah,
and I do want to come back to that last line real quick. Like, for anyone who doesn't know me, I am on the autism spectrum in some capacity, and I've got all sorts of other letters that describe my brain. So the fact that he's like, man, my mom even said it like this. It's like, dude, maybe she is. But the fact that you view that as a bad thing means that anything about her mental health is always going to have to be hidden from you and something you will be ashamed of. When she's a quirky, like, 60-year-old and you're together and she's like, I want to put out this fun bird feeder, you're going to be like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, like, my guy, just go to Airbnb, get a little museum for your wine and your friends, and go home.
Yeah. Next story here. Am I the asshole for not keeping my thoughts on my sister's ridiculous baby names, Stanford and Yale, to myself?
I was like, yeah, no.
Oh,
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. There's me, 34-year-old male, my sister Katie, 35, and my brother Ian, 38.
Ian.
What a loser name. Out of the 3 of us, Katie is the one who made it. Her words. She attended Yale Law School and is engaged to a neurosurgeon, Daniel, who attended Stanford Medical School. Over the years, it's become clear that Katie looks down on me and Ian because we aren't as ambitious, successful, credentialed as she is. Katie has expressed her astonishment that the family business is profitable, even though someone who got C's in high school and never went to college, aka me, has been running the day-to-day operations for 10 plus years. Katie also once told Ian to his face that he wasted his potential. Context, Ian was the valedictorian of his high school class, just like Katie, by dropping out of college to help mom run the family business after dad passed away. Katie and Daniel recently posted that Katie is pregnant with twin boys, and their names would be Stanford and Yale. I commented, congratulations, but later I texted her to say that it wasn't right to give the boys ridiculous names that would put them under immense pressure to succeed from a very young age. I also asked her about what would happen if one or both of them weren't as successful perfect as she hoped. Kay didn't like the points that I made. She texted back, I wasn't asking for opinions, especially from someone like you. Consider yourself uninvited from our wedding until you sincerely apologize. To be honest, I was already leaning towards not attending due to Katie's condescending attitude towards me, but the someone like you comment sealed the deal. I told Ian what happened, but he said that I should have kept my thoughts to myself. Oof. I mean, look, I've been through elementary and middle school. She's not wrong. Being named Stanford or Yale is... other people are going to be harsh. Like, look, school is ruthless, and being named Yale.
Stanford isn't...
Stanford,
crazy.
because you can go by Stan.
You go by Stan, and like, but Yale is interesting, and like, also the fact that it's coming from like, oh well, I went to Ivy League, and everyone needs to know it. Like, I will say this though, the names, they suck. They are the least of those children's problems. They're growing up with that mom.
That mom is awful.
Oh, it's gonna suck. They're both gonna be such burnouts, and I understand it.
She's going to make their life a living hell. The names, yeah, you're right. The names don't matter. She is going to pressure them so badly.
They're gonna wish their names were Gap and Year.
Nice.
I don't deserve this.
This is for me now. Thank you.
Wow.
That's a bummer. That sucks. Condescending people like that are really awful.
It's disgusting.
It really is disgusting.
I do think, though, it's a little disgusting for the brother to be like, you're naming your kids ridiculous names. But maybe, no, I think
the problem is they clearly hate this sister.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Clearly she's been such an asshole to them for so long that they just don't. They're so burned out with her.
Yeah, I just wish someone would actually tell her, like, hey, from a non-judgmental perspective, I think this might add pressure to the kids. Instead of just being like, you're stupid, what a dumb idea.
It
Yeah.
definitely could have been handled better, and I do also think that the brother is probably like, again, maybe I'm looking into this too much, but when the brother is like, you could have kept your thoughts to yourself. If the brother is the type to drop out of college after being valedictorian to go help the mother after the dad passed, there's a lot of responsibility there. They're the peacekeeper. They're the ones that like keep the family afloat. So if there's fighting, it's just going to be like, you know how she is. You shouldn't have said anything. So
That's true.
Who knows how they really feel?
She did say, all she said was, I texted her to say that it wasn't right to give the boys ridiculous. Well, maybe she said ridiculous.
It's not right. Is a pretty.
That would put them under immense pressure to succeed from a very young age. Yeah, it just sounds like they just don't like each other already.
Yeah.
And they're looking for, and if it's that quick that you can be uninvited to everything.
I can't believe she named her kids Princeton and Yale.
Stanford
and Yale, my bad.
Princeton is also better than
Same
Yale.
shit.
Like
Are
Stanford
they
and Princeton would have been fine.
too?
I don't.
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah.
God, what a bad
that's
look.
Rough. That's rough.
That's like naming a kid singer and dancer or something.
Some comments here. I feel like these names are going to make it harder to get into a top-tier school. Does Harvard want to admit a child called Yale? Does Stanford want to admit a child called Stanford?
Wow.
It's a good point.
That's a great point.
Or maybe they really want to because it's like, dude, Yale is so good. We have a kid named Stanford. They didn't go to Stanford. They came here. I think it'd be really funny if one of them goes to ASU.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta name the kid ASU, honestly.
Your kid, what's their name? Arizona State University Online.
And DeVry.
That's my girl.
DeVry.
Phoenix University.
University Technology, dude. I also think, like, look, there's a lot of bad names out there, and, like, I think it's wrong in general to set someone up with a name that, like, really puts them in a specific box. Like, this isn't as bad of one at all, because I think it's a really cool name, but I know, like, Magnus was a popular name for a while. Like, that kid better be 6'8" as a linebacker,
Right.
because if they're, like, kind of small and nerdy, I'm like, Magnus is gonna get their shit rocked. Like, you better fucking...
That sucks, man.
I will also say,
Yeah.
I hear about people getting bullied for their name, but growing up, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I think we are in a better age where people own who they are when they have become of a certain age and they can do what they want.
Yeah.
But poor Princeton and Yale, Stanford and Yale. See, I can't even remember.
Yeah, it's not even like they don't even flow off the tongue. Like Stanford and Yale don't go together. Like Stanford and Princeton, like both two-syllable, both sound fancy, but Yale, like if your name is Yale and your sibling is not right there with you, it's gonna be like, sorry, did you say what was your name one more time? They're gonna be like, Yale. Like they're never gonna not have to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
God, how pretentious.
It's pretty rough. Yeah. Anyways,
Well, sucks to be them, right, Angela, Shane, and Damien?
so guys, we have a last story,
I
and
love
this
stories.
is the most insane thing ever. So, Angela, the last episode that you were on with Chance.
Yeah.
We read a lot of updates, like Redditor updates.
And I did watch that
Oh,
episode.
I didn't see a thing.
There was
Boom.
the most insane
I don't know why
story
I'm
was
talking
the
to you,
story of a woman who her husband became obsessed with her boss.
Yes.
So she had this boss who was this woman.
You found a place of
I'll mute the ads now because I'm not listening to them.
Back to more absolutely messy Reddit stories. These ones are, as usual, pretty wild. And today my guests are Courtney. I've read similar titles. My girlfriend, Abby, who's 31, and I, a male, 33, have been together for a few months, and this Easter I was going to introduce her to my family. We haven't moved in together yet. Abby is quite smart. She has a PhD and works in her field. I only have a BA, so you can imagine my surprise when a hot and smart woman wanted to date me. Anyway, I digress. Abby's passion is writing, although she's never allowed me to read anything she wrote. She dreams of writing a book and says she's practicing and trying to draft things. One day, I was staying over and fell asleep, and she went to her office to write. When I woke up, I peered over her shoulder when she was writing and saw names that sounded familiar. I asked her about this, and sure enough, she admitted to writing fan fiction. Apparently, she already wrote a 100K fan fiction, probably 100,000 word fan fiction, just a big fan fiction, and is working on her third one. She says it's writing practice, and she loves it. I told her it's cringy, and if she was serious about her book, she'd write it by now, because she's pretty much already wrote 2 books, if only they weren't fan fiction. She got silent and told me to leave her alone. When I introduced her to my family, I mentioned that she has a PhD. My brother and sister got impressed and asked about it. Abby tried to tell them, but I interjected and told them to not be so impressed because she wastes her time writing silly fan fiction, so I don't know how she even got her doctorate. It was meant to be a joke, but Abby was angry. I wonder why, dude. She called me an asshole.